Welcome back, and our guest this time is a senator, Senator Sharafadeen Abiodun Ali. Senator Ali is a former secretary to the Oyo State government, former chief of staff to the Oyo State governor, former chairman Ibadan North local government, indeed former chairman of Odua Investments Limited. So he's a man who arrives in the Senate with a wealth of governance experience. A fine morning to you, Senator. Thank you for making the time for us.
Good morning, Mr. Presenter. And our viewers at home, I say good morning to you all. I'm Baraka de Salah.
Indeed, it's still very much in order, Baraka de Salah. So we're talking about, and we have been doing so for a few days this week, setting an agenda for the presiding officers of the National Assembly. Now, why I cited your varied experience in governance at all levels and very high levels, give me your thoughts on this whole question of setting an agenda for the National Assembly. Who would be setting that agenda? They themselves, the legislators, or what? The very constituents who sent them there. In whose ball does that court fall? Or is it just they themselves and their conscience?
Thank you very much. I think the agenda will be set by the legislators. But in reality, they must have consulted with their constituents.
Exactly.
To arrive at what they need to do to set the agenda for the National Assembly.
You know why I put that question is that sometimes we hear from the ordinary people who actually become the constituents. They vote senators and representatives in. They complain sometimes that, have complained in the past that once they go there, we don't know them anymore. They don't care about us. Even though any legislator that does that probably is working at his own peril or her own peril, because there will be another time.
Certainly.
But we've often heard that.
Especially today.
Especially, thereby what you're indicating there that these are different times. Could you dwell a bit on that? Because we've heard often that it's not going to be business as usual. Now, the as usual part is that most Nigerians have not really been satisfied with the results of the efforts of the two houses of assembly, because they measure it by hunger is there, the economy is bad, insecurity, nothing has happened well from their point of view. So you see, those are what you're now going to be contending with your colleagues, isn't it?
Thank you very much. I want to first of all put something straight. The legislators are not the executive. Their main job is to make laws. And secondly, in making the laws, they make sure that they make laws for good governance in Nigeria. That's where I would come in. And going by that, what we should do is to ensure that government is able to adhere to the yearnings of the people by coming up with programs that would enable the administration and enable us to be able to meet the yearnings of the people and make them happy. It's not just about making laws for the fun of it. We must be able to also, as legislators who have oversight functions, to ensure that things are done properly at all the MDAs. MDAs, I mean the ministries, departments, and agencies of government, so that the ordinary common man on the streets will see that things are done differently.
Okay.
I'm happy to say this. With the president, the way the present government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu started, people are now saying that things are now coming up differently. Coming up differently that I said before, that any legislator who leads with people, is because the way elections are held today, under the new Electoral Act, if you do not have engagements with the populace, with your constituents, certainly you will not be popular, and What that means is that not just is there going to be another time that you may not go back. It may also affect people around you and your family. Because any of them who wants to do anything in the future will probably find it very, very difficult. Because our people are now more sophisticated, people are enlightened, and what they want is the area of just staying on the soapbox, campaigning here and there. What people need now is engagement. And it's not just because you are there, you just leave there and don't come back. You ensure that you come back to be able to have a feedback of what they are doing or feedback of what you are doing so that and what next I should do. If that is not done, it is not, you are not representing them very well as expected.
Okay. The election, the election you took part in, the election that has brought everybody from the president right up down into office. That election, there was, it was tough in the sense that all sorts of negative specters were raised. The president has been speaking on that and saying that, look, it's all over now. We now need to close ranks, come together, and begin to work on behalf of the country.
What we'll do now is governance.
Yes.
Elections are over.
Exactly. So that area, because it's in the mind, and all of these people, felt as, losers, felt bad, and that
There are no losers. We're all Nigerians. There are no losers.
Exactly. No losers. I understand your sentiment and I like it. But in terms of only one person can be declared a winner.
Not being in office. They are not in office.
Yes. So
that's the fact, yes.
Yes, exactly. And as you know, there was contestation that I deserve to be there and all of that. So hopefully that's another aspect that people are going to have to put those things behind them as things of yesterday. And now here we are from today, moving on forward. I was just wondering how much you thought this might, how much we have to watch that and really continue to do the whole matter of bringing people together for one purpose from a patriotic and nationalistic point of view.
We are running a democratic government. It will take quite some time before some are already aligning. When I say aligning, it's not because they are joining the party.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to join the party. It's about governance.
Exactly.
But the reality is, some people will still remain in court, like we have so many people in tribunals. They are there.
And that's their right.
The Electoral Act is their right, and we are running a democratic government. The Electoral Act has stipulated the number of time, the period of time within which election petitions are to be concluded, whether at the trial level, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court. By the time these are all over, in less than the next 6 months, I think everything will everybody will now realize that, well, it is now governance fully, and we would now see ourselves as Nigerians. Like you said, when we had issues, several negative issues that we had at that time. Very tough, but thank God we were able to triumph.
As you are heading to the you're not heading there anymore. You're already there. You've been sworn in and all of that. Did you have any? I'd like to sort of pick your brains a bit before you even threw your hat in the ring, so to speak. I've shown that you've been a man of varied high-level experience in governance. Do you have any particular program for this particular stage of your service?
My constituents?
Yes.
Yes, my constituents. I have a lot of programs for them. And these programs, one would, whatever we want to do, will go along with all the other 108 territories. And one can say that it falls into health, education, youth engagement, or youth empowerment, whichever way you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are also bills that I have particular interest in mind to ensure that we do. And there are also some other things that we can also touch into.
I see.
One, in the issue of education,
yes.
My plans are to support the state and local governments in ensuring that we increase the infrastructures that we have on ground. That many of our infrastructures are dilapidated, and we see some of our students writing in chartered classes. So what I intend to do is that, one, in the area of infrastructure, I'll ensure that we construct more classrooms.
Okay.
Where needed.
Our first caller of the day has made contact. Good morning, Ada in Jos.
Good morning, Mr. Yuri and your guest, Ada, calling from Jos Party State.
Yes.
My agenda for the House of Assembly, that's the sign of that.
The National
First
Assembly.
of all, they should cut down the cost of governance, starting from reducing the number of aides. I just checked. It's true they have entitlement, of the number of aides they should have. The last time I checked, the first Senate president is 45 aides, the deputy 30 and 20 each for all principal officers. The Speaker of the House of Representatives is entitled to 35 assistants, Deputy Speaker 15 and 10 each for the. There's no law that says that if they don't appoint the maximum of those aides, they will go to prison. There's no such law. So I want to see them cut down that number and then let us know. So that will make us, it should danger us. It should make us be ready to keep to President Tinubu's request that we should bear with him and sacrifice. Then we should sacrifice. Then when it comes to education, this education law they're talking about, that was the bill was passed by one of them in the past assembly and then whatever. I'm not against this scholarship, but it's going to lead to fraud. Let it be grants. Let it be limited to grants for the very poor ones. If we're going to have a cartel, what happened in the poor sector is going to happen again in the educational sector, and it cannot be sustained. So let them look at that whatever it is again.
Okay.
And then the electricity tariff, if it actually comes into effect tomorrow, it's going to be a disaster because most companies are going to fold. We are going to lose a lot of jobs, So let them go there for our interest, national interest, not for their modern sentiments and party affiliations, Let them check the executive. Any intolerable policy, they should check it. Now we need to intolerable behavior. We're so docile and the resilient people, but they shouldn't take us for granted. All the same, let's not give about Nigeria or the agenda.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Ada. She said quite a bit in there. But let me take you to the first point she made and ask for your impression on this question that really is a global one of reducing the size of government, reducing the sheer size of government. That's where Ada started from. Give me your thoughts on that, Senator.
Well, thank you very much. I'm not averse to it, but the reality is, and some people complain that their wages are high. My response so far has always been that I've never been there. This is my first time of being the National Assembly. So unless I get there and know what they take and what we do, certainly that's when I'll be able to make a comment. But I agree that we should reduce the cost of governance. Cost of governance certainly has to be reduced. If we are talking in terms of size, we are 200 million Nigerians, and there are only 109 senators.
Indeed.
I don't think that is too much.
It is, exactly.
It is not too much.
Well, it isn't.
Not too money.
But I think Please continue.
Let me hear you out. Well, what I believe, when she's talking about the issue of AIDS,
yes,
senators are entitled to only 5 aides. That's how much I know. For the principal officers, certainly they will need more because they are presiding officers.
Yes.
So certainly their own cannot be 5. We should be frank with ourselves. If there are things that we ought to do, we'll look at it, and then at the appropriate time, we'll get them done. And she also spoke about the issue of tariffs and some of these things. We're not going to sit down. Like I said at the beginning, it's going to be business as usual. We're not going to go sit down. Issue of tariffs. When we are complaining about issue of tariffs, we believe that with the new law, certainly the thing will not come down in one day. But by the time we have a lot of people coming into it, just like this petrol subsidy removal, we have a lot of people coming into that particular business, and the prices will come down. I always give the example of our telephones. When we started, it was a lot of money that you had to do and pay at that time, 2002, 2003, 2001. You pay a lot, you pay through your nose before you can get a telephone line.
That's right.
Not ordinary SIM card. But today, SIM cards are like free.
Indeed.
You
Indeed.
pay 200 naira, 100 naira. And by the time you get yourself registered, you have 1,000 naira credit on it. There is another area that we also look at. We must also look at the issue of this multi-choice DSTV pay as to go. We have to look at it.
Okay.
Because I remember when we started having the telephone came, one subscriber, one mobile provider said, "No, we can't run per second. It's not possible. We cannot run per second." But by the time another one came and said, "Yes, I will start with per second," and I remember the advert at that time. Somebody had a banana, bite part of it, and paid for the half.
Yes.
All of them are now taking per second.
Everybody just got on board. You're very, very right. So we have to be.
So what we need to do, we have to look for ways of ensuring that there is competition.
Okay. Okay.
If there is healthy competition, then prices will come down.
Okay, Senator, one moment, please, because Reverend Dominic from Alimosho has been on the line and has been waiting for a while. Good morning to you, Reverend Dominic, and thank you for your patience, sir.
Okay, sir. Good morning, Chief Yori.
Thank you. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Reverend. Good morning.
Good morning, we are hearing you.
Okay, you have a wonderful topic today. But what I want to say, to we common men, do we actually have say to what our senators do? I don't know, because since we began this new dispensation of democracy, our senators have had the mind of their own. But let me say this. The only thing they can do at this time, Yori, is to agree with Mr. President on his policies. Stop padding budget. Mr. President is the one who holds the pulse of Nigeria. If you say you want to spend 1 naira in the water, don't make it 1 naira 50 kobo, because he knows where he pays. If you say you want to spend 2 naira on the road, don't make the road 2 naira 20 kobo, because you're making it difficult for them to operate. The only thing they can do is agree with Mr. President to put out good policies. Number 2, there's this bill that brought now into National Assembly about regulating religion. Please, National Assembly should drop that bill. The election has come and gone. There's a winner, there's a loser. Let them not recall what happened in March the 5th, when they bring that bill of regulating religion. But religion is not a problem of Nigeria. It is we, Nigerians, are the problem of Nigerians. Today we have the subsidy is over. The Christians have applauded. Muslims have applauded. Today we have Muslim presidents. Nobody's complaining because the policies are good. If there's a good governance, nobody cares whether it's a Buddhist or one good or a pastor is governing a nation. They should drop that bill of regulating religion.
Okay.
That's going to cost more pain.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Senator.
Noted.
Yes. Senator,
yes,
you heard that.
I had him, and I note the bill that is mentioned.
Yes.
That's why we are going to. Nigeria is a secular state. We should not. But like you said, we have a Muslim president and vice president today, and there are people that are now saying that all the appointments made by the president so far have been more Christian than Christian, and nobody is complaining because we are putting round pegs in round holes. And the president, like I said at the beginning, has started very well. And we at the National Assembly are going to cooperate with the policies of Mr. President without compromising the interests of the Nigerian masses.
Indeed. Well, but Reverend Dominic also spoke about something that he and many Nigerians have noticed in the past, where, the president might be asking for, 100 naira, and people say, this one will approve it subject to it being increased
there's one thing I don't agree with.
125 naira.
People, we represent people as senators or National Assemblymen. We represent our people. If there are things that are brought there and they are not, the requests from our constituents are not included, there's nothing wrong in putting that. One thing that is wrong, which I don't agree with him, is if the president or the executive comes up with a particular project and put 2 naira there, you cannot increase it because they have done that.
Yes.
They knew what they have done, why that project is there. So you cannot. What you can only do is, there's nothing wrong in bringing in things from your constituents. It's going to be all working for Nigerians.
Well, that would increase. That
There's
would
nothing wrong with that.
But
that will increase the budget, the total amount, but not amount of projects.
Okay.
And it should not. What we only need to do, where there will be reconciliation at particular points. When after looking at the budget, after listening to the MDAs when they come for budgets, what we'll do is now reconcile the executive, which ones are possible for this year, which ones are not. Then if that after that reconciliation, that's when the National Assembly will then pass the budget.
Okay. Now going.
But to say that we cannot bring it from our constituents, that I do not agree.
Oh, okay, you don't agree with that. Exactly, because maybe that goes back to not necessarily being a rubber stamp. Like there must be an exchange of ideas, right?
Certainly, sir.
Okay, indeed. Well, the other point that the Reverend spoke about was, a vexatious bill, the way it is perceived. The reason I'm phrasing it like that is that I believe that the senator has since spoken in the press that I didn't sponsor a bill to regulate religion, to regulate Christianity. So he sort of, maybe, driven back on it, saying that he was misunderstood and that kind of a thing. Well, I guess this is the kind of thing we're talking about, where people have to be sensitive to, the electorate out there.
Electorate, the feeling of the people. If you look at it and it does not worth being passed, certainly it will be killed.
Indeed. Well, so here we are. It seems to me that you are optimistic, Senator. You are optimistic that we are, like a lot of Nigerians are optimistic, haven't seen the president move the way he has moved. He's been, celebrated by just about everybody, even those in opposition. As you know, you might have seen it, saying that.
And I pray it continues like that.
Yes, exactly. Let me bring on Mr. Balogun calling in from the UK. Good morning, Mr. Balogun.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guest.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Uncle Yori, we don't have much agenda. Let me say I don't have much. But what I have for the National Assembly is this, Uncle Yori. In the past, the last part, senators, the problem we have is at the committee level. They don't put the round peg in the round hole. You can imagine you went and bring somebody of history and you bring him to defense to be the chairman of committee of defense. He knows nothing about defense. When they started speaking their English, he will be dumb. So they should look for people that are competent. There are a lot of competent people there. Don't say, oh, he's my friend, he's my party man. No, this person knows his onion. That's why I choose him to be the committee chairman of this. That's what we need. Look at the education the last time. The man telling us he learned in the job. How can you come to public and say you are learning from that? So we don't want to, they should put the good committee. If you have a good committee, Uncle Yori, believe me, you will be proud of the senators.
Indeed. Indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so much.
So it goes back to the point where you were explaining that, well, as a matter of fact, when it comes to those other offices, you spoke about it. You spoke in relation to principal officers. But the point that Mr. Balogun in the UK brings up, that round pegs in round holes.
While forming our committees, we should put people who are experienced.
That's right.
In that particular field.
Yes. That is going to be from within the National Assembly.
But I agree with him entirely. But it is also possible that we may not have people who are particularly working in that particular field. But there are some people that I believe are people who are very experienced.
Indeed.
And we believe can fit into whatever.
It relates to a part of what Mr. Balogun said, because the caliber of a senator, I imagine, must be one that is, he must be conversant with research, with studying up on an issue, with familiarizing himself on an issue, if this is the challenge that is.
Let me give a very good example. We have a senator now. When they were rounding up, he was in the House of Reps. When they were rounding up and they were invited to a dinner, it was stated there that when the committee was set up in 1999, sorry, in 2019. It was a grade C committee. And the guy got there. He's not experienced in that field, but he did a lot of research. And by the time they were leaving, that committee has been moved from grade C to grade A.
Okay, okay. So that's why I think that's the one that they refer to colloquially as juicy committees or non-juicy committees.
Yeah, but somebody, a committee that they said is not juicy. The guy now brought so much that even people from the industry, they were all commending the chairman that day.
Okay.
He was in the House of Reps. He's not the senator. He's not a senator. So we are all invited, and we're happy for him.
So, well, I want to thank you.
It's about what you make of a committee. It's about what you make of a committee that you are in. If you put a small man in a big office, it will reduce your office. But if you put a big man in a small office, certainly it will expand it.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much, Senator Sharafadeen.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning and giving us the benefit of...
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. You're very welcome. Okay, then. So that's our program today.